Alright, how's it going? So we're kind of got sidetracked on work on the Z. Let me show you why. So I had a Trans Am and I sold that for another one of these. I used to have one a year ago until I got T-boned in it. And I bought another one. It's a pretty sweet car. 04 Volvo S60R, all-wheel drive, 5 cylinders, turbo, 300 horsepower, 300 foot-pounds of torque out of the box. And this one was a steal of the price. The only issue it has is the right front strut, the solenoid inside it for the 4C is blown. But we're replacing those with some CX Racing coils. And at the same time while I'm doing that, Kat, who just ran inside, is doing a new air filter, running a pipe across, and replacing the turbo control valve that sits under this. Essentially, I'm shooting it to have it the same as my old one, which was pipe across filter, upgraded turbo control valve. Later on, I'll be doing 3-inch intake piping, 3-inch front intercooler piping with a front mount, 3-inch downpipe, 3-inch exhaust, and to tune. Oh, there she is. This time she's working on the car. Alrighty, let's get to it. Almost got one out, but let's cover this important thing right here. Upgraded IPD turbo control valve, factory turbo control valve. Straightforward, there's a plastic piece, comes off. Actually, you explain it. You're the one that did it.
Okay, so this piece.
Wrong piece.
This was the piece that was right here.
No?
No, this is the piece that was right here.
It's that
That's
piece.
the piece, okay.
She's still learning.
I'm sorry. This piece was right here, so we took it off and we broke it.
So, squeeze, then pull, but those broke. But yeah, 2 out of 3 ain't that bad. Continue.
And then you have to put the new turbo control valve together, which it was hard, but not really. These 3 were separate, and then this whole thing.
3 fittings and a bracket that holds it in place.
Yeah. And then we have to take these vacuum lines off of this and put them onto this, and they're color coded.
As you can see, yeah, red, yellow, and blue.
And that's where we're at so far.
Pin connector.
Okay.
Check back in a bit.
Pliers for this, right?
Yeah, just be careful. Now, coilover replacement. Pretty straightforward. 3 nuts. Once the wheel's off, there's 2 bolts, 19mm heads, 21mm sockets. Take them out. Take out those 3, and it'll slide right out, which is where we're at the moment. But it's also safe to have a jack underneath, so controller doesn't just plop the hell over. So, finished the front coils last night, but some buddies came over, so I kind of got distracted. But as you could kind of see, they're on. Like I said before, just 3 nuts for the top, 2 bolts holding it onto the knuckle, and then the 1 stud and for the sway bar. That's pretty much that. Moved on to the rear, and probably would have finished last night, but kind of rained. Southern California is being weird right now. But it's 2 bolts that'll hold this upper mount to the top, and 1 bolt in the actual trunk. I need to find where the connector for the 4C goes out in the back, and then blast apart the top hat to get the top hat, and then transfer over the top hat to the coilover. But since I have to lay down over here and the grass is wet, we're just going to jump over to the next side. So let me get this wheel off, and then I'll show you guys what the process is. The wheel's off. So there's a 14mm bolt here, and another one up. That was the guy back here. Obviously, you gotta undo the clips, the harness for the 4C, since it's an R. If you're a non-R, you don't have to worry about that. And then I already went ahead and removed it, but there's this 12mm head bolt that goes right there. After that, under those 2 from the bottom, the one holding it to the lower control arm which will be this guy. Take it off the stud, and it should drop out. Although yesterday I realized I might have some issues because the suspension is supposed to droop a little bit down just to get it out and away. So a pry bar might be required, or if you have access to a lift or taller jack stands, which I do, I just didn't check up the car high enough. That's my bad. You could strap it down so you get more tension on the arms, so you have more room. If I don't sound really coherent right now, I might be a little bit hungover, so yeah. Alright, let's get to it. So, got it off, as you can see. Now here's the part where I said if you have a lift or jack your shit up higher. So force it down, because now I'm stuck on this control arm back here. So I have to pry it enough to get it to slip out and then down. So yeah, getting it back in is going to be equally as fun. Alright, I'll check back in once I have it off and blast them apart. So, got it out, but since I have an appointment with the alignment machine later today, I kind of did some trickeration. So, let's put it away. With the Dremel, just kind of like massage the hole enough to where I could sneak a socket on with the impact, and just busted the nut off. So next we'll shove this coilover in, get it snug, and then blast it, get it tight, and then I'll massage the other side as well. As you can see, it's a pretty decent bit of massaging, but that's one way of doing it if you don't want to, pry the shit out of it, getting it down like I did with this side, because I literally spent almost an hour after I got it free last night pulling the other side off, and it was not pleasant. But I mean, again, that's why, you could, if you're high enough, you could strap it down to something. If you're on a lift, I'm pretty sure you could, just have someone like pull it down as you pull it out. But being on the floor, massaging the hole that covers it might be the best thing. Although I found out if it's a regular S60, you don't have to massage the hole. It just comes right the hell out. But for some reason, the RS had a little extra stuff right there. I'm pretty sure that's not for chassis stiffening, because the chassis are exactly the same. So, yep. Alright, let's get this thing together. Alright, we got one in, massage. So next step is going to be, she's been yelling at me because I'm horrible at this. I'm learning. And this is done on a phone right now, so forgot to use the GoPro. Anyways, we'll get the hat up inside, get it mounted, slide the coilover in through, get the nut on so it holds, and then start getting everything else in place. The 04 C-struts have already been pulled off, and the other one is like right there. And alright, let's get to it. Right, I forgot to turn off the compressor, but we got the rears on as well. And yeah. This is how the car sits on the coilovers. Pretty close to stock, which I don't mind. So after this, get it aligned, drive it for about a week, let the suspension settle, and then if I have to, most likely I will, I'll lower it a little bit more. And then spacers and everything else. So far step one of rebuild was fiberglass air filter, IPD turbo control valve, and coilovers to replace the blown struts that I had. After that, next will most likely be lowering it, getting the exhaust done, and then rotors and pads, because these guys have a nice lip on them. Now you can probably see, you can see the lip. So this thing's been mostly pad slapped, so it's true for rotors and pads and a brake flush. So then, thanks for watching.